A DoorDash man eats a customer's meal and did it incorrectly. We're about to tell you how to do it properly so you can get away with it.
Xbox,
Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, Movie Pass,
Google, Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and boy, it's been a while since I've worn my DoorDash shirt. That means something big must be happening, and yeah, we are going to be talking about something really big. Let's go over here to this local Fox station, where the headline says, "I was dumbfounded. Man says DoorDash delivery driver ate half his food before delivering it." This is stupid. This is like really crazy. So anyway, there's a video which we're not going to watch, but here's what the article says. The convenience of ordering food to your doorstep with the tap of a finger can be tempting, but it can also come with issues. Chris Payton of York County, Pennsylvania said he ordered food from Dickey's Barbecue in West Manchester Township using DoorDash. By the way, Dickey's Barbecue is actually pretty good. A food delivery app that sends drivers to pick up orders from restaurants, delivering the food right to your door. You know, I love it when... I know they have to do it, but I love it when articles, like news stations, actually explain what things like DoorDash and Uber are, as if people don't know. After the driver dropped off his food, Payton said he opened up the box and discovered half of it had been eaten. 2 of the 6 ribs he ordered were gone, and what appeared to be bite marks were left behind. Quote, "I was just dumbfounded. I was really shocked that something like that would happen," said Payton. Payton said he believed the DoorDash delivery driver was to blame. Well, clearly. "I guess she just pulls over to the side of the road and just decides to have herself a little snack where she delivers," said Payton. And he says, "It's just crazy. I don't understand people. Why would they do something like that?" said Payton. "It's somebody's food. You pay for it. You expect to get it. You pay for service. And also, it's really gross to the customer." Now, here's why this offends me so much. What offends me is that this lady, or whoever the driver was, he identified her as a girl, did this completely wrong. Look, you never leave food bites behind. Like, look, I'm going to share a story of like how I used to eat customers' food when I did it. Like, I remember I decided I wanted to get someone bought Burger King, and they got like the double Whopper with no mayonnaise, which is like, hey, I love when there's no mayonnaise. However, I realized that if I wanted to steal this burger, if I wanted to eat it for myself, I would have to be very sneaky about it. So I actually had like some knives. I cut it in half. I had like an old Burger King fry box. He got like a large. I put it there. I couldn't take any of the sodas unless I took like a few sips. Well, anyway, I delivered it, and somehow the person figured out after the door was closed that I had stolen some of that food. So he ran out the door and he tackled me. I was trying to get in my car, and he was pulling on my leg just like I'm pulling on yours right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm totally kidding about that. That story obviously never happened. Obviously, my stance on this is that you don't eat customers' food, moron. You just don't do it. But I wanted to have a little bit of fun about this one because unfortunately, the real story we're talking about is a lot more, frustrating and angry, and I might get a little upset at this one, so I want to have a little fun with you guys before we do it. By the way, if I start getting comments below about how like I'm actually encouraging people to steal DoorDash customers' food and giving advice on how to do it, or if I see any exposed videos, you're gonna look like an idiot because you're just going to. Obviously, you're not watching the whole video. So anyway, here's the headline from Gizmodo: DoorDash to workers, "We'll screw you over to your face now." And boy, does that headline seem very sufficient. So here's what it says. Back in March, following criticism over its wage model, DoorDash co-founder and CEO Tony Zhu wrote in an internal letter that the company would be conducting surveys and roundtables with its workers about the controversial system. In an update this week, keep in mind, like in the controversial model, for those of you who are not aware, like this I do feel like I need to explain, is their little tip pay scale model. Say you take a delivery and you don't get a tip. You're guaranteed $4 of a delivery. Well, let's say you take a delivery and someone gives you a $10 tip. Well, in your mind, you're... Actually, I kind of messed it up a little bit. Like, you're guaranteed like $5, I believe. Let's just say that. So you take a delivery and you get like a $10 tip. You're thinking in your mind, great, $10. I'm getting $15 for this delivery. No, you're not. You're getting like $11 because once you get a tip, DoorDash starts taking that tip and starts counting it towards the delivery fee. And they only, like, say, let's put it this way, like, the reason for that you're not going to get $15, you're just going to get $11 is because of the $5, $4 is considered covered by the tip that the customer left. Now, DoorDash should not be doing that. That, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, is stealing tips. You are stealing tips. They're wording it differently. I'm frankly amazed lawsuits against them on this has not gone through as much as we hope. Well, this controversy erupted in March, and it's now mid-July. Oh, this is late June when this article was written. I'm a little late on this. And it speaks volumes that it took them that long to address it. When Instacart was doing this and it got mainstream attention, Instacart changed their tipping model, so they don't do that anymore. But DoorDash, because they suck and they are evil, are not going to do that. Because in an update this week, Zoo said that even as the company plans to introduce greater transparency about wage breakdowns, the pay model will remain in place. Quote, overall, we heard that Dashers value transparency and fair, consistent earnings. With our current pay model, Dashers see a guaranteed minimum, including tips, prior to accepting a delivery, Zoo wrote in a Thursday blog post. The guaranteed minimum is based on the estimated time and effort required to complete the delivery, which in their eyes is always $1. Or $4 or $5 if they don't tip you. Providing this guarantee upfront means that Dashers are more likely to accept all kinds of deliveries because they know what their earnings will be even if the customer provides little or no tip. Well, that's an oxymoron. They should have an expectation of what they are making with or without the tip for certain. They should be guaranteed that they're going to get $5 whether they get a tip or not. But they should also have a very realistic expectation that if someone tips them $5 on top of that, they're getting $10, not $6. So, there you go. Among the company's new initiatives, Zoo said, are, quote, better earnings for deliveries of longer distances, closer deliveries to a Dasher's proximity, new promos and incentives, reduced wait times, and occupational accident insurance for some injuries suffered on the job, though it does not cover bike or car damage, because of course not. Yeah, this is starting to sound a little familiar, right? This is what Uber and Lyft does. Like, yeah, I think our drivers want more consistency in the pay. They want more security, and they want benefits, and they want, you know, little brownie points, and they want little stickers. They want everything but pay. They never want pay. And you know what? Hey, after going to the AB5 rally, that I'm pretty certain Uber and Lyft sponsored, although I can't prove it, of course, so don't quote me on that. You know, and seeing all those people get on stage and talk about how they wanted everything in their job from this, except better pay, well, maybe they know better. I don't know. Oh yeah, promos. Yeah, that's always a joke. But these things do not fix the most fundamental issue with DoorDash's payment system, that it uses its workers' tips to help cover their base pay. Bingo! Exactly. They're stealing tips. Here's how this model inherently screws DoorDash delivery workers. DoorDash promises a guaranteed minimum that its workers can earn per dash, company speak for delivery. The company agrees to pay at least $1 of that amount depending on how much a customer tips. If, for example, a delivery worker accepts a dash with a guaranteed minimum of $9 and a customer tips $3, DoorDash will apply that tip toward the guaranteed minimum pay, and pay the difference. In other words, DoorDash will pay $6 or $1 plus an additional $5, the necessary amount to make up the guaranteed wage. If, however, a tip exceeds the guaranteed amount of $9, DoorDash will pay merely $1 to the employee for that dash, and the tip will make up the rest. Boy, they explained it a lot better than I did. That's for certain. By the way, here's some tweets from I'm assuming this is a DoorDash driver. But here's the thing. Hey, DoorDash, just read your email to drivers. Despite your mentions of how we want wage transparency, we still need to know if a customer tips a lot over the entire minimum of the order. Do you ever keep part of the tip? Why are our tips even part of our wages? Yeah, good question. The reason, the number one thing we are asking for is wage transparency is because we fear you are taking our tips. Oh, no need to fear that. They're taking your tips. This email never says otherwise, because of course they're not going to admit that. When customers tip generously, drivers should benefit, not DoorDash. Yeah, I totally agree, by the way. Responding to this week's update, Sage Wilson of Labor Group Working Washington said in a statement that the company, quote, continues to stand behind an entirely, I don't know how to pronounce that word, I'm sorry, pay model, which offers no way for workers to understand why they're getting paid what they're getting paid. Actually, I agree with that. I don't know why I did my sarcastic voice for that. It's Worker in Washington. I thought they were DoorDash. Never mind. They continue to subtract tips from worker pay, and they continue to mislead customers about where their tips are going. When a customer tips more, DoorDash pays less. In other words, the customer is tipping the company, which I know a lot of customers don't like to do. So if you are a DoorDash customer, simple solution to this right now, I know it kind of sucks, tip cash. Please tip cash. Because you don't want to be giving free money to the company. You want to be giving that to the driver. I'm sure you wouldn't be tipping if it was for the company, but you're doing it for the driver. So yeah, anyway. DoorDash should not immediately return a request for comment. Well, I mean, they've avoided this situation for, let's see, about 4 months now. So yeah, of course they're not going to respond to you. According to the figures the company shared with Fast Company for a report in February, customers don't tip in about 15% of cases. For roughly 45% of orders placed, the company told the outlet customers tip less than half the amount needed to make up the guaranteed wage. Zoo wrote in a letter to the company's workers in March that Dashers in the U.S. earn more than $17.50 per hour on deliveries, though that's a matter of some debate. Of course, I'm really curious. Has Pete discussed this yet? I would really like to know what Pete has to say about this. Even if that figure were correct, DoorDash may be omitting the various expenses that fall on the shoulders of its Dashers, including gas, car maintenance, vehicle wear and tear, and other expenses. Dashers who spoke to Gizmodo for a March report claimed they were barely earning minimum wage after these expenses, and one former Dasher claimed that the company didn't count Dashers as working unless they were on a Dash. Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Moreover, they claimed that the company made it incredibly difficult to keep track of how much of their wages were being paid by DoorDash and how much came from the tips because they don't want you to know that information. They might get sued for it. In the blog post this week, Zoo said this frustration was the single greatest complaint DoorDash received from Dashers based on feedback that we collected. Oh, geez, you mean like their pay is the biggest complaint? Geez, it's just like Uber, Lyft, Postmates, like every app company. The biggest issue is always pay, and that's the one thing none of these companies ever want to talk about. I'd give you the finger, but it's a family channel. But not you folks out there that's thinking DoorDash. It is slightly better than the company will provide greater transparency about how it's Is it slightly better that the company will provide greater transparency over its screwing over its workers? Let me think. No. That's not even remotely better. Sure. Does that make its pay model the subject of tech worker boycott and investigation from San Francisco Office of Labor Standards Enforcement any less exploitative? Heck no. They said that too, by the way, so I get to read that and have my opinion at the same time. Lest the company think otherwise, this doesn't appear to be lost on either Dashers reacting on Reddit to Zoo's update or the company's critics. In response to the blog post, Wilson said that admitting you pay $1 a job is better than denying it, but adding that $1 is still $1. Yeah, you want to know what $1 is? It's how much it costs this casino chip from Caesars in Atlantic City. $1, folks. I do a heads and tails thing, but it's the same thing. Anyway, I'm not surprised. This is something that DoorDash would definitely do. And Tony Zhu is a bastard, by the way. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, but he is. This is a guy who, and this is why I think, CEOs and people really shouldn't be politicians. Because this is a guy who is an immigrant, I believe. If his story is believed, at least he comes from a family of immigrants. Came from working class, worked his way up, built a successful company. I'm not taking that away, by the way. Also, this logo's way more awesome than that logo. Just saying that right now. And then he always goes, he's like, hey, I'm here to help people. I'm here to create jobs. I'm here to help people earn a living. And then what do? You base your whole pay scale model on screwing those very people that you are making public contributions to. Hey, you know what, Tony? Instead of donating to funds that help immigrants, poor people, healthcare, all that stuff, why don't, instead of spending millions of dollars on those programs, why don't you take that millions of dollars, stop doing this ridiculous tip stealing thing, and let the drivers have more money, and therefore you will be contributing directly to the economy and your employee workforce at the same time. Not going to do it because that gets you way too much money to do it this way, but there you have it. There you have it. Another sickening day at DoorDash, although I know I haven't really talked about them in a while, so there you go. Anyway, what do you folks think about all of this? Do you agree this is despicable? Are you surprised that it's not going anywhere? I would just love to know, what do you think? Comment Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month, which is ironically what DoorDash is going to be paying you, it goes a long way to helping this channel run smoothly. And if gas prices will get you just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every purchase. Don't eat DoorDash's customers' food. Don't do it. The only time you should be eating Postmates or DoorDash food is if you are unable to deliver to the customer, and at that point, it's officially yours. That's the only time you do it. I'm just stressing again, that beginning 3 minutes was a joke. So don't do that. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow couriers out there, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.